Welcome to Time Savers Shorts. You've got just enough time to sit back, neck a cup of tea and enjoy these tips, brought to you by Joe Parry from Windermere St Anne's School.
I think we all know that good communication is key to being a good teacher. And I think we've been helped in our profession by the advances in ICT over recent years. However, now I'm thinking, what about that dreaded email? Well, if you can manage your emails, it will save you a huge amount of time. So first of all, what about when you go back to school, looking at the groups of students you deal with and getting their parents' emails into your address book? That way, when you need to send an email, you're not searching around for an email address. It's there, ready and waiting for you. Make sure that when you're going through your emails, you do have enough time to action them. Deal with them straight away. And once you've dealt with them, delete them. Because I tell you, an empty inbox makes you feel very satisfied. Occasionally, there might be something you reply to that could be contentious, and you might want to just file that away somewhere. Hard copies, I think we're probably conditioned as teachers to print off hard copies and file them away. But think about it carefully. Most situations, you don't need a hard copy. And finally, save yourself huge amounts of time by being very professional with your emails. It's important that when you write an email, you don't write it when you're emotional. Don't write something that would be contentious and something that you wouldn't say to somebody's face, because I can tell you it will come back to bite you and it will waste an awful lot of your time.
When communicating with parents, you will often save time if you deal with an issue promptly rather than allow it to gain momentum.
Hi, Nikki.
Hi, Joe.
You're a fantastic form tutor. You have a group of lovely Year 7s who you deal with, but I know that communication with both them and parents is a big part of your role at school.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you find that saps your time?
Yeah, it does actually. First thing in the morning, when we have our assembly, even then there's kind of issues, and it takes up your time from the first point in the day, really.
Yeah, and I think you have to really look after yourself, because you've got other things, you've got a million other things to do. You've got to teach your science classes and also have a life outside school.
Yeah, yeah.
I think over time I've learnt that you've got to assess every situation on its merits, and maybe don't get parents in, don't make that the natural thing you do. If you think you can and address an issue through an email or through a phone conversation, do that. Don't make it your natural reaction to get the parents in. And then when you do get the parents in, that means it's really important.
Yeah, definitely.
What about, I mean, that emailing to parents? Do you do a lot of that?
Yeah, I think the culture of email has definitely increased. You have to be careful with it, don't you? Because it can be so easy to just sit yourself down on the computer and send a quick email, but you need to make sure that you're to the point and that your emails don't ramble on.
Have you got any parents who ramble on the phone?
Yeah, and it's difficult sometimes because you might have that one very important free, and a parent, obviously their child's the most important thing, and it's sometimes difficult. You can be coming up to the time when you really need to get to that next lesson, and to sort of end the conversation but be polite at the same time.
Exactly, it's a difficult one, isn't it? Do you know what, I always start a phone conversation when I know I've got a parent like that with a Mrs X, I've got 10 minutes, I need to be at a class at this time. And then it gives you a nice excuse, you've preempted the conversation. So when it gets to that time, you can say, as I said, I'm going to have to go now. And I just think if you lay out your parameters at the beginning of the conversation, it will save you time.
Yeah.
The other good one is, if I know I've got somebody who's going to ramble on the phone, I'll take some paperwork with me, or some stapling, or something that's a daft task that doesn't involve brain power. So while they're talking on the phone, I can be sorting out some paperwork or staple. You have to have quite a quiet stapler and not hold it near the phone, but you know, something like that, because you feel then that you're achieving while that's going on. Nikki, I think there's lots of people could learn from you, but thank you for that. That's really good.